Okay. All right. We live.
Yeah.
Peace, you guys. Welcome to Just Us Jenkins. If you are seeing me for the first time, I'm Jamillah, stay-at-home homeschool mama of 3 beautiful babies. I'm also a certified Reiki master, lineage healer, generational curse breaker, spirit whisperer, and owner of HealingMama.com. Okay. You
Yeah.
guys, tonight we are back with one of my beautiful spirit sisters, Nell Divine.
Peace, y'all.
Gratitude for rolling, flowing through.
Yes.
All right, before we get into tonight's episode, which is about y'all healing through the spoken word,
Heard the vocals.
creativity, and the throat chakra. Okay.
Yes.
Remember to shop your girl's website now. We
Mm-hmm.
are offering readings and energy scans this month on HealingMama.com. Motherhood Realness podcast every Friday, 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And then, your girl does her weekly readings on Sunday. And it's just when I can, y'all. Because it's Nell got to see it's the real life is lifing over here.
Life. Be life it.
Peace, Nubian Healer. What's up?
Hey, sister.
She said, I've been waiting. I know we had some technical difficulties over
Because
here, which is
Mercury is retrograding for sure. She's
so
doing
all
her own
right now.
thing.
Go ahead and introduce yourself and let us know where we can find you if you want to be found now.
Yes, of course. I definitely would love to be found. Um, I am Nell Divine, 5 feet flat, but my energy non-ether. I'm built absolutely different. Yes, I do have an intro. I am a poet, spoken word artist, self-published author. I am doing this full time. This is my passion. This is my dream. It's a dream that I had before I even knew that I really had dreams. And I love what I do. I am also an event curator, so I host open mics every month. We are currently taking a break for a full rebrand so that I can really give you guys the experiences that I really see in my heart to give the community, because I am fully community oriented. But I love art. I love transcribing my life, my story through words and using the diction that can truly encapsulate what that is for me so that people can also resonate and see themselves in my story because our stories are probably a lot similar. So
Yeah.
that's really what I do in a nutshell.
Beautiful. Now, where can we find you at?
Oh, yes. You can find me on Instagram at I am Nell Divine. I am Nell Divine. That's Divine. Nell is spelled Nelle. So I am Nell Divine because we are all divine beings. You can also find me on TikTok, and TikTok is currently going crazy. So shout out to everybody from TikTok.
Yeah.
The Nell Divine, the Nell Divine, same spelling, TheNellDivine, because we're all divine beings. Facebook is just Nell. On YouTube, because I'm everywhere. I feel like if you guys find me on Instagram, you'll find me everywhere else because I link everything via Instagram because that's my main platform.
Yes. Let's see.
And I'm
How-
so happy to be here. Like, I'm so excited. I've been calling in a podcast interview for months. So it is an honor that it is shared with Jamillah. And just to give you guys some background, because if you're not Nubian Healer, you probably don't know. If you're not from Ascension Dojo, you probably don't know. But Jamillah and I do share our a spiritual educational group outside of these social media platforms. Shout out to Mama C. So
Yes.
that's how we know each other. And it is really an honor to share it with a sister, a spirit sister, and also someone who is of like mind, like frequency. It's great that you're the first one.
Oh, girl,
You're
I'm
like,
so
how would
happy.
you?
Happy because I'm making my rounds on my good spirits.
Yes. Because
I
we got some good
am.
sisters, okay?
Yes, and Nubian Healer says she said that's my baby sis Nell Divine.
Yes, yes. I love you for always rooting for me, always encouraging me. Shout out to the family because this is really
Yes.
what it is.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Thank goodness for Telegram and
Yes.
baby.
Mm,
Mm.
mm. That's
All
a
right.
whole nother video.
All right, you guys. We're talking about spoken word tonight. Okay. What
Mm,
is spoken word? So the spoken word is used to refer to language, expression, and speech. Example, in contrast to music, written text, any piece of poetry meant for performance. Okay. Um, Unlike poetry, spoken word poetry is created with the audience foremost in mind and is devised um, explicitly to come to life before an audience. Do you think
mhm.
that's an accurate description, Nell?
I will be transparent with you guys and say that I've never actually looked up the definition of spoken word. However, based off of what spoken word is to me and how and why, and I'm sure we'll get into that in this interview, but as to why and how I got into spoken word, that is 100% accurate.
Okay, Google.
Because yeah, okay, Google, right? Because for me it's like it's a soliloquy, it's a monologue. And when we first, many of us, or most of us I should say, when we first heard of the term soliloquy and monologues, it was through Shakespeare, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So it, and when you think about Shakespeare and pieces performed by or from Shakespeareans and actors and things of that sort, it's really you embodying the words and the piece, and then you are creating a whole different performance and dynamic, because it's an experience for the listener or the watcher, that you're really transforming the words. So it's not just reading or reciting the words, which is
Mm-hmm.
what most people interpret poetry as, which doesn't take away from what poetry is.
Mm-hmm.
But spoken word is more so bringing that to life. And I was a theater kid, so
Yeah.
I am a theater kid. So for me, spoken word is how you're able to bring poetry to life through living on a stage. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I love it. I love that definition. Thank you for teaching me
Oh, girl.
something.
I'm glad we found it because I was like, how do I like tell people what this is? I don't
Right.
like I know, and I've watched some bits and bites that you've posted all this time that I've been following you, and of course
Hmm.
I've like seen different things and different
Yeah.
performances. I was in show choir, that was my thing. I was
Yes.
so like performing is my thing. What
Yeah.
sign are you again?
I'm a Cancer. Cancer
Oh,
sun.
girl, look, these water signs gonna give you a show now.
Absolutely. We are literally the life of the party, but people don't know.
Yeah,
Literally, like people give cancers like, oh, they're emotional, they're so sensitive. I'm a crybaby, baby. I'm the life of the party.
I know
If you
that's
want to
right.
party, bring me around.
I know
We gonna
that's
have a
right.
grand time.
Look, I'm a crybaby, but I can cry on cue. Okay,
Right, absolutely. I could cry and dance on cue. That what you need.
all right.
What you
Be
need, baby? What
crying and
you need?
dancing.
Yes, crying and dancing.
I love that. I swear, there's not a water sign that I don't know that was in some type of performing arts. Okay,
Yes,
or still is.
right. Because it never leaves you.
Yeah, no, never.
Never leaves you.
Never, never. Like that creativity, it might
Mm-hmm.
run a little dormant, but it's always
Mm-hmm.
come through. Oh,
Absolutely.
whew, girl, I'm about to
Yes.
in that.
Right.
Spare y'all.
It's
I'll
that
spare y'all
energy.
tonight. But hey, tell me now, tell us about more about what spoken word is for you. Is it a lifestyle? Like,
Hmm.
is it something you
So I would say that poetry is a lifestyle for me.
Mhm.
So like I'll write a caption and people are like, yo, this is poetry. And it's like, yo, I was just trying to type a authentic caption. Like I wasn't trying to like make it rhyme or make it, bars. Like people be like, yo, that was a bar. Like, so I would say like the poetry aspect, just the writing style
Mhm.
is the lifestyle. But spoken word for me is literally spoken. All right, now I'll be transparent with y'all. Like, I ain't prepped none of the answers before this, but I knew the questions were coming, so I was meditating on it. But I want to give y'all like an authentic answer. Like, it's really not the spoken word part. It's not about me. Like, the poetry aspect, yes, is about me, because in that moment I'm writing and scribing my soul on a page,
Yeah.
whether it's something that I'm observing in the world and I need to transmute that energy, which, for anyone that doesn't know what that means, it's literally taking, let's say that, like, for example, what's going on in Gaza has a very drastic effect on me. I'm very sensitive to it, but I have not yet spoken on it because I know that I use my words to transcribe how I'm feeling, and I use them very intentionally.
Yeah.
So I would take how I'm feeling about what's going on in that situation, and I would, instead of directing it directly to the government or directing it out, like just putting it out in the world, just lashing out, venting, or just expressing it in that way, I know that I can use poetry to formulate it in art. It's just like a painter. We are
Mm-hmm.
not much different. We're just using different mediums
Yeah.
and expressing what it is that we see in the world, or what it is we see within ourselves, or what it is that we see around us. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's literally what the poetry aspect is for me. And then the spoken word comes in, and it came in after the fact of realizing how my poetry impacted people.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I do spoken word. It's
Mm.
because I know that there's somebody out there that feels how I feel, shares the same sentiments in the exact same frequency that I do, but they don't have the words, the diction. And I like to use diction
Mm-hmm.
because the word diction means word choice.
Yeah.
And it's one thing to just use words, but when you pay attention to your word choice, your choice of words,
Mm-hmm.
that speaks to the intentionality and the energy that you want people to not just receive from you, but to understand. So when
Yeah.
it comes on to spoken word, for me, it is beyond putting it on the page and expressing myself, but also me expressing it to the world so that you can see yourself
Mm.
and also be able to resonate and say, yo, I didn't have the words for this, but this is exactly what I've been feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Or you finally got me in a space to find some more words to what we're both feeling. It's
Yeah.
really like, and I had to come to terms and accept that, like, it's really bigger than me when it comes onto the spoken word aspect, because I can just write it and leave it in the pages. But the spoken word and the performance is much bigger than me. It's for you to see yourself in the work and see how how this has been feeling for you, and then also for people that have never resonated with what I'm saying to then have a changed point of view, and to then also be able to resonate with people like me that they never were able to resonate with before.
Yeah.
That's why I do spoken word.
Oh, yes. It,
Yeah.
like, it just transcends space and time,
Yes,
gender, religion,
absolutely.
baby.
And I
Mm.
have a poem that really, like, is taking the reins on that, and I used to feel a way about it. But my poem "Don't Fall in Love with the Healer" really speaks to everything that I'm talking to right now, because it's about 2.5 years old, but
Mm-hmm.
it's still my most successful poem. And I
Mm-hmm.
have to give it its flowers because it does exactly what I said.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the people that speak to that poem, they're like, you're giving me the words that I wasn't in, because
Mm-hmm.
we're healers, but not all of us have the same gifts. So you may not have had the words to express to your partner what it is that you felt like you were going through, but that poem transcribes that feeling so
Mm.
that you can now say, maybe you can't say it, but hey, can you listen to this so that you can understand me? And that's not just why I write now, but that's also why I share. So "Don't Fall in Love with the Healer" is very much that poem that really does that embodiment and speaks before me, you know.
Peace. We have one of my oldie but goodies up in here, lovely Samara. Peace, baby. She says,
Bliss,
"Hey,
sister.
Jenkins. Hey now."
Hey, sister.
We thank you so much for being here. Now, let me ask you now,
Mm-hmm.
how did your healing slash spiritual journey play a role in your spoken word journey?
Oh, so with that, I would say my healing sharpened my spoken word. Um, where as I was learning about the things that were impacting me mentally, emotionally, mental, like physically, spiritually, because and I think why I was repeating the mentally and physically is because when things are impacting you mentally, they are impacting you physically,
Yeah.
whether we want to address it or not, or whether or not they take a time to show up in the physical. It is impacting you mentally, and if it is impacting you mentally, it is impacting you physically.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, when I was unpacking the mental, um, I started to realize that a lot of what I was going through was happening because I wasn't speaking up for myself, or I
Yeah.
wasn't addressing some of the things that I was going through. And even if we are speaking up for ourselves in certain aspects, we are still not expressing what we are going through.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are going through the motions, but they're not expressing.
Mm-hmm.
They might be even doing the healing work, but they're still not expressing maybe the day-to-day frustrations of
Yeah.
doing the healing work. That's
Mm-hmm.
still important. The day-to-day expressions of the frustrations. You know what I'm saying? What did today look like for you? You know what I mean? Like just journaling that I experienced something today that re-triggered me is
Yep.
important versus just going about our days as if they're just regular days and we're not humans that are having a spiritual experience and you know riddling our auric fields with different experiences that have different frequencies and different vibrations. And I'm speaking to specific people that understand the lingo, you know what I'm
Be.
saying, that are really like impacting us, that we're not just funneling through.
Yes.
For me, it was realizing that like I had to put this somewhere. And it started really, really young, where I
Mm-hmm.
was putting it in plays. Because, like I said, I started as a theater kid. My major was theater in college. And even before that, I was writing plays and I
Mm-hmm.
was putting what I was seeing in the world, but I couldn't process within my body. I couldn't fully understand within myself. I put it on a page. So I didn't know that I was healing and relieving and letting go of what I was going through as I was writing
Mm.
until afterwards. You know what I'm saying? When I started to realize, like, oh, I can just perform it for you guys,
Mm-hmm.
but this no longer resonates with me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it really started very, very young. And I didn't know that I was doing it. I was really just writing. It started with a diary, and that's why I love diaries, because it started with a diary and me just having a diary and just writing my thoughts, writing day to day what was going on. And that in itself was healing. So sometimes the process or the art itself is healing you
Mm.
before you are healing yourself. And then that transforms into the art that you see today.
Ooh.
So
Damn.
I feel like a lot of this work was happening, and I can vividly remember like my ninth grade high school teacher, Miss Rush, and I wrote a monologue. I wrote a memoir from the perspective of my mother who passed, and that's the altar we're in front of today. But I wrote a memoir from, I believe, her or my dad's perspective, and my teacher was the one that told me that I was writing about my experiences in any writing form of art, whether it was poetry, whether it was essays and things like that. And sometimes it was through being told that I realized that I was using it to heal.
Wow.
And then after a time when you're being told that you're doing something, it's not an accident.
Mm-hmm.
So I accepted that I was writing through healing. And then when I started being told that I was good, I had to accept again that I was doing that work as well. So
Yes.
there's so much layers to this, especially when we talk about healing and scribing, because that's what it is. It's
Yes.
not just writing, but you're scribing. You are a scribe, and someone's going to be able to pick up what you wrote, Jamillah. Your
Mm-hmm.
kids are going to be able to pick up what you wrote
Mm-hmm.
in your book, your grimoire.
Ah.
They're going to be able to pick up your grimoire and say, yo, mommy went through this and she was able to overcome it through this, whether it was physical or mental.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that it first people told me what it was doing, and then I accepted what it was doing, because so many people can't be saying the same lies.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So they got it. Somebody's got to be telling the truth, you know?
It's interesting you say that, Nell, because every time I write in my diary, write in my
Hmm.
gratitude journal, I'm like, okay, let me write this real nice and neat. Because when I home and I transition and they read,
Yes. So it's legible.
read this.
Yes. They
So
don't got to be coming to the altar and they're like, Ma, what was this you wrote in here? You got to, no, they can know exactly what you meant and what you said. I feel you on that.
that is so. Well, I mean, at this point, I shouldn't be surprised that you pick up on stuff like this. Okay. Okay.
Right.
In the comments, we got. Lovely Samara said, I used to write poetry so much it turned into a story. Yes.
You,
I
they do
I,
that.
I know, haven't finished the book, but you will, baby. Okay.
Yes.
And she said, I'm glad I saved my laptop because my ex destroyed them when he burned my belongings.
Oh.
Don't even worry, because karma gonna get that. Okay.
Hmm.
And I'm very sorry that happened. Nubian Healer said, Ashe. Um, Lovely Smora said, Hey, Nubian. And Nubian Healer said, That's so beautiful. Hey, lovely. We got some clap, clap, claps, and we got some come on now, Nell. Come on. Come through. I know, girl, that like you speaking, it just hit me in my heart chakra. And I'm like, yes, okay.
Yes.
You are on path purpose.
Absolutely.
Period. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so how has well, I guess we kind of hit that, but in
Hmm.
what other ways has your journey and spoken word aided in your healing?
Whew. So, um, my first time really like, and I'll be really honest, like sometimes you don't even know that you're doing this work until you're well into the season that spirit even has for you, because I feel like that's where spirit's bringing me now. But I can look back on my life and really see like where this was doing a work in me
Mm-hmm.
before I was doing the work,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense. Like poetry was doing a work in me before I started doing the work. That's really the truth about it. I remember in college, shout out to Phenomenal Voices. Shout out to PV What's Next. PV is an org that I joined when I was at U Albany, and it's a spoken word, instrumental singing, or it's a performing arts organization that really focuses on honing the artist's skills. And then they also do 2 showcases a year so that you can showcase those skills. So you're spending about 3 months practicing and preparing for one showcase.
Mm-hmm.
And I did my poem that really made me realize that I was doing this healing work was my poem I Love Depression. Um, and that poem was because I was trying to write another piece that was literally triggering anxiety attacks within me.
Mm-hmm.
I was I was expelling so much of what I was experiencing in my real life that as I repeated the poem to perform, it was triggering me to have anxiety attacks, to relive the moment, because I was writing so in that much detail,
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted to purge. And that's the beautiful thing about writing, is that you don't have to judge yourself. You
Right.
don't have to judge what that looks like. You don't have to judge what's on the page. You can really just get that out. And then later on, you can fine tune it to share with the public from a different space. And I didn't know that I was able to do that until this piece, because I would perform the original piece and I would get extremely like distraught and anxious afterwards. And somebody saw it and they said, you know what, shout out to Kat. I have to say her name, Katarina Kit. She saw it in me and she said, something is wrong. Something happens every time you perform this piece. After in rehearsals, you're like gone. And I told her, like, this is really messing me up. Like, it's a real thing that really happened to me. And she said, you don't have to do it. But
Yeah.
what I decided to do was I wanted to tell the story in a different way because it was still my truth.
Mm-hmm.
So I transcribed it in I Love Depression. And I Love Depression did more for other people than it even does for me till this day. Like, I Love Depression called out a lot of the strong friend syndrome that people encounter, where
Oh,
we are being the strong friend. And I didn't even know that I was talking about that till the last line. You know what
mm,
I'm saying? And this is why it's important to follow through with your pieces and follow through with purging yourself, no matter what it looks like for you, because you can always transform, like you transmute a piece into something else. So
yeah.
for me, it was like, yo, I was severely depressed in high school and I didn't even know how depressed I was. I didn't even know how sad I was until I read back that poem and it resonated with me. And then it resonated with other people. And I was just like, we're all depressed. I was like, we're all like depressed and we're going through the motions
Mm-hmm.
and I'm ready to talk about it. And
Mm-hmm.
then that's when I was just like, this is the niche, as they call it, that I need to talk about the healing,
It's the
you
heat.
know, of the feeling. So even before I shouted out Don't Fall in Love with the Healer, but I Love Depression came before Don't Fall in Love with the Healer, you know, and that poem did more for people than it did for me. And at the time I couldn't even accept it, what it
Mm-hmm.
was doing for others. Cause I'm like, dang, like, are we just out here admitting that we're sad? And
Right?
we're all
Like,
the
who does
strong
that?
friend? Like, so no one has a solution but the
Yeah.
poem? So in that moment I was like, yo, like the spoken word, and that's one of the main things that I wanted to come on here and share with other writers and scribers, and not just scribers but healers that may be questioning, how do I go into sharing this message?
Yeah.
Scribe, because when you scribe, it is bigger than you.
Mm-hmm.
That is really the main thing that I want anybody to take away from this. You can get it at 2740. You know, like, it is bigger than you. When
Mm-hmm.
you're writing is one thing, and when you're sharing it, it's another thing, because it is bigger than you. And you are going to give someone the words for what they've been feeling all their lives, that they never thought they could find the words to describe.
Mm-hmm.
And that also unlocks a new level of healing. So the most thing that I would say I'm grateful for in this spoken word journey, and being able to write, is not just to heal myself, but to like either give someone the words so that they can process and they can heal, or it can inspire somebody else to be like, yo, if she found the words for us, then I can find the words so that even she can tap in with me
Yeah.
on things that she didn't have the words for. That's really what it is.
Yes. Ooh, baby,
Yeah.
you gonna have me up here. Okay, you make me feel like I can take on the world, baby girl.
Yes, because you can. Because you can.
Comments. Nubian Healer said every time she speaks, it hits the heart. You should see her live. Had me in tears.
Yes.
Oh, I can't
Be
wait.
live, y'all.
Yeah. Samara said, thank you, Jamillah. She said, Nell, you're speaking to me, mom of PTSD. Now, so glad I was able to tune in tonight. We are so glad that you were able to as well.
Yes. So happy you guys are here.
We appreciate y'all. Now, Nelly Nell, let me ask you, do you channel when you are
Mm,
doing your spoken word?
yes. There's no doubt about it. I question till this day if I was alone, and I know I wasn't when I wrote Don't Fall in Love with the Healer. I watched that poem back and I learned from it and I question like whoever was speaking through me, you can feel right, feel better
Right.
to come right back on through.
Yes.
Because for 2.5 years, for that to still be the most prominent and most requested, most successful, somebody else posted it in South Africa today and it's going viral again on TikTok. And I know for a fact it's because I channeled, and I channeled through a lot of my poems. Majority of them, I'm in a serious meditative state.
Mm.
Um, and sometimes I'll have music playing that starts off bringing in the frequency of what I'm trying to write on, or I'll write in complete silence.
Yes.
And that throat chakra is getting activated. That's my voice is cracking and going on like that. But that's typically what happens. But I am always channeling because that is one of my strongest gifts.
Mm-hmm.
um I can tap in anytime, anywhere, with anyone, especially the beings that are our galactics, our ancestors, anyone that is of higher realm. I tend to tap into them a lot faster. So some of the times the things that come into me don't make sense to me. So
Mm-hmm.
I have to do like serious work to make sure that I'm not judging myself or
Yeah.
judging what's coming in, and make sure that my funnels are clean, and one of the yeah, making sure that your funnels are clean. I know that that's going to resonate with those that understand what I'm talking about, but like
Yeah.
making sure that your funnels are clean so that you can just receive.
Mhm.
Because when you're a channeler and when you are scribing, and that's why I wanted to speak so much to it being bigger than me. And once you're sharing, you're finding the words for other people, because once you're channeling, when you are a channeler, you are pulling in information that is beyond you. It is not just you. So when you start to operate like it's just you and that's it doesn't stop with you. So you will always feel compelled to share in
Yeah.
whatever form and medium that you feel. Like
Oh,
you feel like doing it through your podcast. I
mhm.
have to do it through my spoken word. I have to. I like I don't have a choice. Like
Yes.
I have to share. I have to share because if I don't, who has the words in this way so that you could find me? You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? So when you're a channeler, you are literally channeling the frequencies and the diction that someone else needs so that they can go on and do that work. That
Yeah.
is what a channeler is. A
Mhm.
channeler, you are the trigger. You are the beacon. You
Yes.
are not the friend.
Yep.
You When you're
Yep.
channeling and you're speaking, you are not the friend.
Mhm.
You are the beacon. You are the messenger. When you're done the channel and when your channel's closed, that's when you can go back to being the friend. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? But once your channel is open, and once you are, whether it's through art, you know what I'm saying, like painting, whether it's through drumming, you know
Mhm.
what I'm saying, whether it's through my spoken word, you are that direct channel and you have to give the people what their spirits need.
Yeah.
And that's what a channeler does. And that's why I feel like that poem is timeless. It will go on beyond me, before my children and my children's children. And that's why, like, we listen to people like Bob Marley. We ran when Andre 3000 created that new album. We
Ooh.
ran because their art goes beyond them.
Mhm.
And that's why, it's because they're channeling a frequency and a spirit that is greater than them, and they humbled themselves enough to receive it and not judge it. And even though we might have wanted some hip hop, some rap, some good stuff, he said, nah, what fulfills my spirit right now is some good old jazz and my flute.
Yep.
And y'all gonna have to deal with that. And we were even more impacted by that truth.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was yes, I am a channeler, and I compel every channeler that is out there that can tap in, and any moment a random person walks up to you and you feel like you can just spit a word for them, baby, you're a channeler. You're a channeler. You don't
Period.
need to question it. You got a message, you got a word for anybody, anytime, you're a channeler,
Mm-hmm.
and just continue to keep your vessel clean, and don't judge yourself. Don't judge yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. It will not always make sense to you, but I promise, just get it down. Once you look back on that page and you read it to yourself, you're going to unlock downloads within yourself that in that moment of writing you couldn't receive.
Mm-hmm.
So let yourself channel it, let yourself get it out, because that's the message that you need and that everyone else does too, because that's what a channeler does. That's
Mm-hmm.
what they do.
Yes. And y'all apply it to wherever you are in life because, like,
Mm-hmm.
spirit, okay, God, the Most High,
Yes.
we're here working. They're working through us. And it doesn't matter, like, if you're on the same type time we are or not, the messages are going to come through.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And you have to be obedient.
Yes.
Okay. Samara said, Amen, you better preach. And Nubian Healer said, she's channeling right now, LOL.
Yeah. Yeah,
For
I am.
real. For real.
They're wide open. So if y'all got any questions, they are wide open.
Okay, so let me ask you this. How has spoken word allowed you to tap even more into your creativity?
Mm.
Ooh.
I was excited to reach this question because I feel like um being an artist is so much more than people think. Like, and I this be spoken word triggers more creativity because you realize, especially to bridge off of your previous question, right? I was channeling during that piece, and it feels like a lot of the time when you're writing, it feels like, damn, every piece that I drop needs to be a banger, like this one. I'm just giving it a buck.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh
if
yeah.
it ain't hitting as hard, I question if it's worth putting out. You know what I'm saying? I question if people are gonna resonate with it as much as they did the last one. So I feel like spoken word and being a channeler in itself challenges my creativity and triggers more creativity because it forces me to dig deeper.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you gotta dig deep when it comes onto this spoken word. Writing from a shallow place, like, people can see through that.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're not sharing from a shallow place.
Yeah.
For example, like, if I were to pick up any of my Shakespearean books right now, right? I would have to channel and pick up energy that I've resonated in the piece from a place in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like there's no ignoring the connection between art and self.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you want to give and I'm not talking about the rappers that are rapping about what they don't really do in real life, but
Right.
if you are really, because when you're doing that, you're impacting people in a low frequency. You know what I'm saying? So when we're talking, and I want to make that clear, like, we're talking about impacting and channeling and scribing and spoken word and creativity. We're talking about this at a high frequency. We're
Yeah.
talking about this at a frequency where people can receive it and heal, not
Yeah.
a frequency where people can receive it and continue the cycles. So I
Yeah.
do want to make that preface and that clarification. So when you are doing that work, it challenges you to dig deeper within yourself. What else am I going through that I have not uncovered?
Yes.
What other parts of my story make up me, but I
Mm-hmm.
have not given to the world yet? I haven't even given to myself because I haven't written it down. You know what I'm saying? So that's why even at the beginning I spoke about using spoken word to heal, and then healing before I even knew that spoken word was the outlet. It
Mm-hmm.
really forces you to find something else to say, because it is easier to talk about what's easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier to talk about what's trending.
Yeah.
It's easier, and that's also why I challenge myself to not speak about the war in the way that the war is happening.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to talk about it right now because I want to challenge myself to speak on it in a deeper way. And I commend everyone that has found the words, but I want to speak on it in a way that is true to me. And
Mm-hmm.
I haven't found the words yet. So it forces spoken word forces you to find the words in a way that is real for you.
Yes.
Because the moment you open your mouth to say it to me, it's going to show whether or not it's real.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what people don't recognize. That's the difference between spoken word, like a true spoken word artist, and just a performer.
Ooh.
And I didn't even mean to get there, but if spirit wants us to get there, we're gonna get there.
Ooh,
You know
revealing
what I'm saying?
all the
That's the
truth.
difference between a true artist and just a performer. Because we can even talk about people that are doing the podcast life for performance. But
Yes.
you're doing the podcast life to speak about motherhood realness on
Yes.
different levels. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Anyone can perform.
Yes.
Not everyone can perform or allow their performance to transform someone's life.
Ooh. For the people in the back, honey. For the
And
people.
I'll say it again. Anyone can perform, but not everyone can perform in a way that it transforms someone's life.
Ooh.
And even before I knew that that's what I wanted to do, once I realized that that's what it was doing, I realized that that's what I need to do. So, in that form, it forces me to dig deeper. So, this may not resonate with every other spoken word artist and every creative,
Mm-hmm.
because maybe it works for you. But I really wanted to impact people. And once I saw that the impact was already impacting people before I intended for it to do so, it was like, let me just remain where spirit has already brought me.
Mm-hmm.
So in that sense, it's like it forces you, for me, from my perspective, it forces you to dig deeper. Because what do the people need? I want to call out another one of a spoken word artist that I admire, Kira J, right? Kira J. She speaks a lot about relationships. She speaks a lot about love, toxicity in relationships, even
Mm-hmm.
us being the toxic individuals in relationships. And I want to shout her out because why her ministry, and I want to call it that, a ministry, is so far and wide is because she is digging deep. You know what I'm saying? Y'all check her out for yourselves. Do your own vetting. Don't take my word for it. Do
Yes.
your own vetting. You know, spiritual people love to vet. So do your own vetting. You know what I'm saying? She is a woman, and I feel her ministry speaks to people because she has dug deep to bring to the surface the parts of ourselves, especially as Black women, don't heal in relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And that is why her message is so powerful. Her poetry is so powerful. And people are waiting for the next one. I don't have to speak on just me, I can speak on other people. I
Period.
can, because I've studied it and I can see why it works. And when you study people and when you study self and when you're self-aware and when you're tapped in with spirit, you can tell what works and why it works. And I can be real about it. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? It's because she's authentic to her journey and she dug deep and she can uproot what is ugly.
Yes.
What is ugly? Bring it to the surface and don't pretty it up when you bring it to the surface, but scribe about it.
Mm-hmm.
Scribe about it in its natural form. Scribe about it so that somebody else can see the ugly within themselves and be like, "Yo, dang, I feel,
Yes.
I feel like somebody actually understands me,"
Mm-hmm.
and then go from there. So
Mm.
that's what spoken word does to creativity, especially when you're operating in purpose.
Period. Period.
Absolutely,
Operating on in purpose and
in
being
purpose and on purpose,
on, babe.
in purpose and on purpose. This is not by accident.
Yes.
This is on purpose.
Absolutely. Girl.
Definitely.
I don't know if they ready now. I don't know.
Let's get them ready. Let's get them ready, sis. That's what we here for. Let's get
Woo!
them ready.
All that hit me all in the third eye.
Yes.
Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay,
Woo.
so I don't even know if I'm ready after that. So, how can we work with and open our throat
Mm,
chakra with spoken word?
yes. Yes. So it's so funny because people will probably think that my throat chakra is my favorite chakra. It's really my heart chakra. It's my heart
Yes.
chakra. My heart chakra is why I bleed through my throat chakra. My
Mm,
heart chakra, my heart chakra, my heart chakra. But the throat chakra, mm, for one, if you don't have any blue crystals,
baby, you better get some
baby,
today.
you better get you some blue crystals. You can get that from our beautiful mentor, High Vibe Christy,
At that
the Crystal House.
crystalhouse.com.
Okay, you can get your crystals from there. But I feel like when it comes up to the throat chakra, especially as people of color,
Mm, yes.
our throat chakra has been stifled for generations from slavery times, and due to that, it's led to generations of stifling and blocking our throat chakras generationally through our families.
Yes.
One of the biggest things that made, like I said before, I was writing what I was going through before I knew that I was clearing my throat chakra.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, in high school, I wrote the memoir about my mom. You know, my mom passed when I was 5. I think I wrote from my dad's perspective. I was writing what I was seeing and feeling. That's still unlocking your throat chakra.
Hmm.
Writing is a form of unlocking. You don't have to say it, even though a lot of the times it is important that you do. But what is most important is that you get the truth out. And you
Yeah.
can get the truth out through using words that are written words. Written word is still activating the throat chakra.
Hmm.
That is one level. There's more levels. Of course, there's levels to everything, but that is one level. So I was doing it in one form. But what I realized was that when I was doing it in one form, I kind of stifled that form. So I was just doing it in that form. And I felt like because I could just go to my diary, I didn't have to speak out loud for myself. And
Hmm.
life will teach you that you still have to speak out loud for yourself. Life will teach you that. You can
Yeah.
write all you want, but life will teach you that it is time to assert yourself because there is power in the tongue. We learn that from whether you're in church, whether you're growing up outside. It
Life.
doesn't matter. We know that there's power in the tongue.
Hmm.
We know that when we speak, we feel things. Like if someone says something that hurts your feelings, it's because they said it aloud. It's not because just they wrote it or just that they thought it. It's because they said it aloud. When
Yes.
you speak things, you're speaking it into existence. It's as if this person spoke it on you to be real.
Hmm. Yeah.
Right? So in that case, it's like taking all of that information into account when it comes onto activating our throat chakra
Hmm.
or recognizing whether or not our throat chakra is being activated through our spoken word. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? Writing is one format, but you utilizing your throat chakra to express your traumas, express your day to day, it will free you more than you know. It is literally liberation, as I call it, at its finest. Because people can understand you more.
Hmm.
The people in your life can understand you more. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So it's really about creating understanding. If you don't communicate, people can't understand.
Hmm.
If you don't communicate, people can't resonate. If you don't communicate, and this is the basis of communication, this is not even spoken word, this is just communication, because
Yeah.
communication is a form of spoken word.
Yep.
It's all connected. The throat chakra, all of it, whether it's spoken word, whether it's venting, whether it's even a diary, it's all connected, right? So your throat chakra, when activating your throat chakra, it's beyond the crystals, but it's a matter of choice. It's a matter of choice, knowing that you deserve to be heard.
Hmm.
You deserve to be heard. I deserve to hear you,
Mm-hmm.
and you deserve to hear me,
Yeah.
because we deserve understanding, right?
Yeah.
So, activating your throat chakra and using spoken word to activate your throat chakra to activate your spoken word, like it's all interchangeable,
Yeah.
because all it is accepting that this is a choice on whether or not you believe you're deserving to be heard, to be seen, to be felt. And I used to live like, oh, I don't need no validation from nobody, but I'll be honest with you guys, the validation that I receive from you all when you express how you feel about my poetry is what I needed.
Yes.
So all of that is spoken word.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't make it seem like it has to rhyme, or it has to be a certain topic, or it has to be in a certain format. It is all what we're doing right now is spoken word. Somebody's going to take something that you said and be like, that's a bar. That's spoken word.
Yes.
You know, it's we are not intentionally putting on a performance, but we are performing this interview for people to receive. That
Yeah.
is spoken word. I came into this with the intention of channeling through my spoken word, you know, so that you all can receive whatever it is the spirit gives me. But it is really all connected, you know. And whether it's utilizing crystals, whether it's meditation, I would say the biggest thing for me was recognizing and choosing to have my voice be heard,
Mm-hmm.
and then recognizing, like, wow, my voice deserves to be heard.
Yes.
It deserves to be heard. And then another thing was, I started realizing that people actually want to hear me
I
more than they even want the poetry
know.
videos.
Yes.
Like, I gotta turn some of these poems into songs, into like
Yeah.
singles,
Oh,
because people want to hear you. Think of it like when you're playing a frequency video. You don't need to watch the video. Just
nope.
put it on.
Just
Just
gone.
put it on and listen and have it vibrating through your auric field.
Oh,
It is speaking to you,
please do.
even if it's not using diction.
Please do that for us, please.
Yes, definitely. Absolutely. But I hope that answered the question. Like, it is all connected, and there is no one way that fits all, whether it's meditation, or whether it's writing and then sharing, or, you know, just freestyling what it is. Like, your throat chakra
Mm-hmm.
is ready for you when you're ready for your throat chakra. It's just a matter of, are you ready to be received? And when you've grown up not being received, that's where the question of expression comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Or when you're ridiculed for expressing or talking about what happened to you, or people just want you to shut up because they don't want to deal with you, or they had a long day, whatever reasoning it is. That is why we feel like our throat chakras, or we can't express. That is why our throat chakras are blocked.
Yes.
But doing the work within yourself so that you can sit down and accept that I still deserve to be heard.
Mm-hmm.
I still deserve to be heard. Even if the person that needs to hear it can't hear it,
Mm-hmm.
I still need to say it. You ever said, when you don't say things, you keep it on your chest, right? You feel
Yeah.
it blocking your whole chest up. But when you express it to somebody, now you feel like, whoo, that was a relief. It's the same thing with spoken word. It's the
Mm-hmm.
same thing with any trauma. So it's really realizing, like, I deserve to be heard. And then not just I deserve to be heard, but I deserve to be free.
Period.
I deserve to be free. You might not even be able to deal with what freed me, but
Mm-hmm.
as long as I am free, that's what's important, versus keeping ourselves in prisons while other people are free of
Yeah.
false realities. Let's
Yeah.
not do that. Let's awaken everyone to the realness. To
Yes.
the realness.
Yes. I truly feel, I know that the solar plexus usually, or no, excuse me, the sacral chakra
The sacral.
rules over creativity. But for me, honey, is the throat chakra.
Yes.
More that spirit guides me and pushes me to heal and, you know, create whatever that looks like for everybody is different. For me, it's videos and it's like,
Exactly.
yeah, the mommy content and my I can't stop this thing. Spirit
Yes.
and me.
Exactly. I can never quit poetry. There would never be a day. Like, there would never be a day. There would never be a day because it's doing far more beyond you now.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. You can't because it's bigger than you. You were
Yeah.
just chosen to be the vessel to transmute it and put it in the world. But it's bigger than you,
Yes.
you know?
So anybody that is struggling with your throat chakra, start creating.
Yes.
Start creating
Mm-hmm.
and create for the higher aspect of yourself with the higher aspect of yourself,
Yes.
you know, and for the higher dimensions, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because they have messages that they want us to relay for sure. Peace to Sonia in the chat.
Hey.
They're saying yes. Carly said 100%. And Samara said, I'm here crocheting this
Yes.
blanket and listening. See you creating.
Yes.
Go ahead, boo.
That's exactly what I'm talking about right there.
All
Right
right.
there.
Now, let me ask you now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put you on the spot now. Do you got a spoken word for us tonight?
Ooh. I can actually give you guys something. Absolutely. Absolutely. And this poem I have, it's my patron poem. It's one of those newbies that is really a hitter, and it speaks to the divine feminine. Um and I am and I have been speaking to the divine feminine a lot lately, and I think it's our time to like really just come out of the woodworks, come out of the closet, come up from under, and really step into who we are.
Yeah.
So I'll do that one for you guys. Oh, and it's so funny because I have the purse right here. I mean, what purse? It's okay. We're going to talk about it after, okay? I be woman, which means I be bold. I be fierce. I be stubborn sometimes. I be unbreakable. I be melanated and I be sulfur. I be unfolding and unending and the backbone of movements. I be the shoulder that carry all struggles. I be the womb that all life come from. I be chaos and I be darkness. I be molding and the molded and the scolded and the stolen, and I be the retriever. I be wise woman. I be oracle. I be bosom that rocketh babies to sleep. I be nightlight within your sweetest of dreams. I be the motion within the river stream. I be the now and sometimes in denial. Then I be focused. I be rigor. I be tenacity, I be classy, I be more than what classist systems aim to cast on me. So I be spells and whirlwinds, I be tsunami. I be the flood of emotions you pray to keep from drowning. When I say I be woman, my woman be everything. Visionary, missionary, welcomer to a humble abode, and warrior of that same home. Woman be sacred space. Loud and proud in the rooms of how we've taken up space. I be woman. Once your last resort, now your first call. I be woman. Once your piece of meat, now I be your piece, period. I be woman. I be your goddess when in servitude. I be your mother, I be your daughter, I be your sister and your auntie too. I be grandmama and her butterscotch cookies, and I be soulful and soul food and unforgettable summer nights, and I be angry black woman who always had to stand and fight, so I be black magic. I be source gold. I be storyteller for all stories gone untold. When I say I be woman, I mean that infinitely, undoubtedly, of all, the all, woman. Thank you. Jamillah, where you at? Yes, yes. I think you're still on mute, sister.
My bad.
Yes.
Come through now. You better come through.
Yes.
Girl,
So
you
glad I
deaf
could
people
perform for you
hand clap
guys.
too.
Fully memorized. Come on now.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, let's read a few comments. So Sonia said peace. Carly said yes. I strongly believe that fostering creativity through your sacral chakra will help unlock and open your throat chakra, and vice versa. They go hand in hand, especially
Yes.
for the feminine. And Nubian Healer said, "Oh my God, yes!" in her cute voice.
Yes.
And Samara said, "Whoop whoop," and Nubian Healer said, "Wow." And Sonia said, "Bunch of purple hearts." And
I
Carly
love
said,
that.
"Amazing." Oh,
I love that. Thank you all for receiving my poetry. I hope it resonates, and I hope it really, because that was for the women. So, like, I really want that to come from your crown and all the way down and saturate within your spirits, because it's really about not adjusting the crown, but reminding folks of our crown.
baby.
Because I be woman, and that's just it, period. And I was once your last resort, but now I'm your first call, and we are always the first call. We are
Yes.
always the first call. So reminding ourselves of that power and that fortitude. And I think scribing that in front of somebody's stoop one time in the middle of the night, really, I think that cemented the confidence within my own divine feminine, where it's like, dang, like, where's this energy coming from? I'm just typing the words. And
Yes.
that's where automatic writing comes in, where you just let yourself write it so that you can get it out. Because now when I read back to it, and even when I perform it, it speaks so much to me and who I am and who we are.
Yes.
So yeah, we be woman.
Ooh,
Absolutely.
woman.
Absolutely. And we got purses too. So if you like a purse,
Oh, we be woman. I be woman. Oh, that's
right?
so cute. Girl,
Oh,
where we find that at? Where we find that
you can
at?
get that on my site. It's at www.theneldivine.com.
You guys better.
And use the discount code I am divine, IAMDVN at checkout, so that you guys can get some money off. Okay, because I'm all about getting a bang for your buck. Okay, baby, a bang for your buck.
Write that down.
Yes, I am divine. Remove all the vowels, just DVN. I am DVN. And then you guys can get some money off your purchase. And we got hoodies. I'm wearing one of the hoodies now. This is actually our Don't Fall in Love with the Healer hoodie. It's on the back. I'll show you guys.
Oh, oh, how
So
beautiful.
we got some gear. We got phone cases, we got purses, tote bags, hoodies, and a bunch of other things, just because for me it's about spreading a divine message on a wider scale. It doesn't have to be limited to the poetry. We
Yeah.
can wear our message and raise the frequency of Mother Earth. And that was my goal. I was like, okay, I want to raise the frequency, but on a broader scale. Like maybe people can wear the clothes and you can have your phone case, and that's still us spreading the message of divinity, of love, of our higher selves, and what it is that we truly, especially with these poems that speak to the women and our
Yeah.
power. I really, really am getting into that energy of just speaking to the women and our power. And it can resonate with the men if they want, but like, just us knowing who we are, embodying who we know
Mhm.
ourselves to be. Because you can know, but then you're still not embodying. But
Yeah.
embodying who we know ourselves to be, and then receiving what it is that spirit has for us because of that work. Get that through your drip, get that through listening to the Pope, get that through your shadow work journals.
Mel, I
Any
love
of that
you so
stuff.
much.
I
Yeah,
love you
it's our time, baby.
too.
Okay,
Yes,
we take the divine coming
absolutely.
in here. We taking it big.
Absolutely. Yes, the matriarchs.
You better get in line.
Y'all better get in line because we got the documents and we got the healing remedies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we are really the ones that are doing we're leading the work right now. That's
Yes,
just the truth. We
it
the
is.
divine feminine, the women are leading the work, addressing the things that many don't want to address right now and facing it, even if we have to face it alone for a while. And then, you know what I'm saying? Spreading that light and that love with everyone around us.
Absolutely.
So, accepting that role, like just accept who you are, y'all. Like we are the divine feminine and we are the matriarch. Some of us are the real matriarchs in our family to uphold these things. So accept it, love it, learn to love it, and embrace it, and come back so that we can
Yeah,
feel it.
we out here.
We outside. We all gonna be in Sedona. Like, Mama, see where you at?
I know. Hey, Nell, once again, what is your website?
Yes, my website is www.theTHENELLEDIVINE.com. So theneldivine.com. And you can and you can use the discount code I am DVN. That's divine without the vowels for some money off. And we got a bunch of things on there, so you can get your book. It's a signed copy of my first book, Transformation Over Trauma. And a lot of my poems are in there. I'm working on my second book, just to give you guys a heads up on what's coming. My second book is coming in June of this year. If we push it back, I'll definitely post about it. But June of this year will be my second book. It's called Worth the Wait, because you are worth the wait. Okay. And
Period.
even the weight that you carry in life is worth it. Just know when to put it down. So, Worth the Wait is coming. A diary is coming. But until then, you guys got merch, you guys got more poetry, and you can always book me for your own poems. I'm willing to travel, be outside. Come get me. Come get me, guys.
You gonna come to Mountain State, girl? You better
Yes,
come.
come to New York. I'm in New York. So come to New York, or if you're having an event and you'd want me out there, I'm down. Like, I'm
Hey,
ready.
okay,
Let's
girl.
go. Let's work. Let's heal.
Yes, it's
And let's spread it.
Nubian Healer and Nell on the same flight. Okay.
Yes. We gonna be out here with the
I,
mimosas. With the mimosas.
with the yes.
Yes.
Okay, okay. All
Yes.
right, Nell, tell us one more time where we can find you at.
Yes. You can find me on my main social media platform is Instagram. I am Nell Divine. I changed it from the to I am. So that's IAMNELLEDIVINE. On Facebook, it's just Nell, NELLE. On TikTok, it's the Nell Divine. And you can also just tap into my website, www.thenelldivine.com. And my videos are also on YouTube. I have a YouTube platform. It's just Nell Divine. Everything is Nell Divine.
I'll leave all her stuff in the description after we save everything, and I'll tag you on the video as well, girl.
Yes.
I appreciate you so much.
Thank you for having me. You're my first podcast ever. I was so hyped. I was never saying no. Not to you. Heck no. Heck no.
I'm so happy. Well, girl, this won't be the first time nor the last time.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you all for tuning in.
Yes, gratitude to
Value in the message.
that joined us tonight. We appreciate y'all so much. You came through with that good old energy. She said, I'm gonna try to get all the books signed. LOL, Nubian Healer said. Lovely.
Yes.
And I'll be back in New York. We'll definitely come get you this summer.
Come Scooby. Get that me.
All right, you guys. Well, that is it for this week's episode. Once again, Thanks for joining us. If you're new, we'd love to have you stick around, subscribe. Make sure you follow now. Okay.
Yes, guys.
Get all the socials and everything followed up. Okay. And yeah, we're gonna see you next Friday, 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Yes. Peace out, y'all.
Stay back, Nell. Stay back. You don't have to hang up, girl.
Always.